This video covers what happens when a customer pays more than what is owed. It also covers how to handle discounts for early payments. When you record a customer payment that's more than the full amount of the invoice, QuickBooks asks you how you want to handle the overpayment. And I'm going to show you two scenarios, one where the customer has only one outstanding invoice and makes an overpayment, and the other where the customer has more than one outstanding invoice. First, the customer with one invoice. So let's choose it from the Customers menu. Go to Customers, and then go to Receive Payments. We'll choose the customer, Dante Delara. He paid $900 instead of the $886. So we'll type 900 and press Tab, and enter the check number. Here you can see that QuickBooks has selected the invoice and applied the $886 to the invoice, and indicates that there's an overpayment of $14. When you choose Leave the credit to be used later and save the payment, QuickBooks will give the customer a credit. The next time you create and save an invoice for the customer, QuickBooks will mention that there is a credit available and ask what you want to do. If the customer prefers a refund, select this option, Refund the amount to the customer. And QuickBooks will create a refund using the payment method that you choose. But let's leave it as a credit to be used later. Okay, on to the second scenario. Let's click Save and New. And QuickBooks reminds you that there's the overpayment. And you could print the credit memo right away, or you could use the credit later when you create the invoice. So let's just click OK. Okay, the next customer is Chester Rains. And Chester paid $475 instead of the $360 invoice amount. So we'll enter $475 and write the check number. And here you can see that QuickBooks applied the full amount to the oldest invoice and applied the excess amount to the second oldest invoice. At the bottom, QuickBooks tells you there's an underpayment on the second invoice and shows you the amount of the underpayment. You have the option of leaving it as an underpayment or writing off the extra amount, and those were discussed in another video. So we'll leave as an underpayment, and QuickBooks applies the partial payment to the second invoice and keeps the remaining balance in your accounts receivable. But what if the customer or you prefer to use it as a credit for later? You could uncheck the second invoice, and QuickBooks shows you that there's now an overpayment, and you can leave it as a credit. But let's go back. Okay, click Save and Close. If you offer discounts for early payment, QuickBooks keeps track of those discounts, and you must apply the discounts when available. For example, if your payment terms are something like 1% 10 net 30, that means you give a 1% discount if you receive the payment within 10 days. So let's open the Customer Center and choose Morris Shaw. And you can see that the terms are 2% 10 net 30. So let's receive a payment from Morris. Receive Payments. Notice that there's a discount date column, and QuickBooks says this customer has discounts available. So to see the discounts, click Discounts and Credits. QuickBooks shows you the amount of the discount based on the payment terms with the customer. But you could change this amount if needed, for example, when a customer pays early but does not pay the full amount. Here, you would choose the income account you use to track discounts. Although you might think of a discount as an expense, it's considered negative income, and QuickBooks posts the amount to the discount account as a negative number. So it actually reduces your income. So click Discounts, and you could select a class, but I'm going to click Done and save anyway. And QuickBooks adds a discount column and displays the discount amount. If the customer paid in full, the discount now would show up as an overpayment, and it's probably easiest to leave it as a credit to use later. But often, a customer will take the discount even when the discount date has passed. Most companies accept the payment as is anyway in the name of goodwill. Let me just change the date and the amount to show you what this would look like. So first I'll clear this one and open a new one. So we'll choose the customer and I'll change the amount to what the customer paid, which was $377. And I'll change the date to January 24 and press Tab. In this case, QuickBooks does not add a discount column because the discount date has passed and it shows an underpayment amount of $8. When you click Discounts and Credits, QuickBooks displays 0 as the amount of the discount. To track this discount correctly, enter the amount of the discount, which was $8, that the customer took, and choose the discount account. And click Done, Save Anyway, and now there is no over or under payment. And the discount column is now added and says $8. One last thing. Let me show you how the automatically calculate payments preference comes into play. So let's click Save and New, and Save Anyway, because I didn't assign a class, and choose Floyd. So for this company file, because that preference automatically calculate payments is checked, you can choose the invoice here, and QuickBooks will remind you about the preference. And you could turn off the preference here by clicking No, but let's click Yes. So you would select the invoice here without entering the amount, and QuickBooks enters the amount for you. As you select or deselect the invoices, the amount changes. So if you turn off this preference, QuickBooks doesn't automatically calculate the payment, and you must enter the amounts manually. Okay, that's it. Let's click Save and Close.